What's up, guys? Welcome to the Social Bamboo Podcast. On today's episode, we are talking about how to gain followers from promoting your Instagram posts. There's a lot of ways that you can do it. Should you just click the promote button on Instagram? Should you go into Facebook Ads Manager and put your money in there? What should your post be? How can we actually make it get us followers and not just feel like we're buying likes? We are covering all of that today, and I'm going to show you how I was able to spend about $360 to gain over 830 followers. 838 followers to be exact from promoting a post, and it actually got even more followers than it got likes. So kind of a crazy post, but the psychology of what I did in this post is going to be directly applicable into your business. So if you're ready to gain some followers from promoting posts, listen up. I'm going to cover this information quickly so you can get right back to work, but this is going to be absolutely worth your time. Let's get into it. All right, so let's talk about promoting posts. I know a lot of you have probably done this. Maybe you've given Instagram $5 or $10 and maybe it translated to some more likes for you. Maybe you even got a follower or two from it, but not always does it feel like we really got our money's worth. And I will say that I don't get this result from promoting every post. I try to create my posts in a way that I want to make it good enough that if I spent money on promoting this post, that it actually would convert for me. And that's one of the main differences that we need to talk about first is the mentality that you have in creating the post. A lot of times on Instagram, we have this mentality that done is better than perfect. And this is absolutely true when you're just going to do organic posting. But if we're going to dump, even over $50 into promoting a post, you want to make sure that post is really done right. And I am going to recommend that a 10-slide carousel usually does work the best for getting cold traffic to actually turn into a follower. The reason why is because now we have like the first 9 slides to provide value for them and get them to know us a little bit more, get them to spend a little bit more time with us. And then by the time they get to slide 10, that's when we can ask them to follow us. And it's not going to just seem like it came from out of nowhere, right? If it says like on the first slide, like here's a tip and also follow us, it's just a little bit too much, right? So the 10-slide carousel is what I'm going to recommend to actually get followers. I've promoted tons of posts in the past and I've gotten various results, but none like this. And I really feel like the psychology of why this works so well is really easy to replicate in your business. So pay close attention, make sure you listen to the end because if you miss any part of this, it's not going to work. So let's look at the post here. It is, if you go down my feed, I'm just at Derek Videll on Instagram. It is the one that says, how many platforms should you be on? So it's a 10-slide carousel. Breaking down this first post is that I'm only using so many words and you can only really hook people's attention that's like cold traffic when you are very short and to the point because they're going to see that this is a sponsored post. So they're already going to have like some flags going up, right? When we promote the post this way, it still shows up as sponsored to other people and they don't know who you are, right? The first thing they see is your screen name. If they don't recognize it, then they might be like, I don't know if I want to stick around. Then they see sponsored. You're going to have to instantly grab their attention and let them know that this post is to provide you with value and nothing else if you're not going to get instantly skipped over. So how many platforms should you be on? I could have said this in 8 words, 12 words. How many social media platforms is it beneficial to be on? How many social media platforms is too many to be on? If I said any of those things, this wouldn't have worked nearly as well. It's that I was able to reduce it down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, very short, some of them like, 3-letter words, but it's just right to the point. So I know it seems simple and that's the point I'm making, but usually it doesn't come out of our content creator minds as simple. So make sure you boil down exactly what your post is about to the simplest wording that you can. And that makes it so that you can create this font bigger because if this was more words, I would have had to go smaller on the font. So this is, a good size font where it's actually going to grab attention. How many platforms should you be on? The other key to this information, apart from just like, it's a social media tip. It's a question that a lot of people want answered, especially right now, like with, Clubhouse and TikTok entering the scene so hard. There's so many platforms right now that it's a really common question. And you're not going to target so specifically to your ideal client that you want to make sure that if you're a coach or any kind of page that is just providing information, and you're going to go with the route of just providing value, which is basically how you're going to do it. Even if you're an e-commerce page, just provide value for the niche you're in is going to be the best way to do this. This is information that my general market, if you're an entrepreneur of any kind, you're going to be interested in the answer to this. And if I didn't go so wide with this information, if it was like a really specific strategy for just certain businesses, this wouldn't work as well, because just know that when you promote the post, it's not going to be able to find your exact niche all the time. Even if we go into the targeting and make it super specific, it's always going to find some people a little bit outside of it. So just for it to do better, it's best to keep these heavily promoted posts more general information in your market. So that's all I'll say about the first slide, but this is very key. So just let them know right off the bat, this post has nothing to do with sales. This is what you're going to be learning. So basically, then I just go into quite a bit of information, right? You can see that my assistant really killed it with the graphics on this one. And then basically I came in and I made sure that the stats and the facts that she were using were the most interesting that I could find, right? Ones that I'm like, I'm going to try to really spice those up and try to find information that not even I knew before creating this post, and then throw that in there. So when I actually had information that was more beneficial, it inspired more comments. I had like a full wrap up of the post. And before I get to the last slide, basically I'll just say, it's the combination of like good graphics and information that people want to know and information that people didn't know beforehand, and just a lot of information. And they go through 9 slides before I ask them to follow me. So like they feel like they know me a lot better than if I, would have condensed this post anymore. Even if it takes a long time to make, just know that I'm making this with the intention of I'm going to spend money on it. This is their first impression of me, of whether or not they should follow me. So you really can't put too much time into these posts that you plan to promote. So just act accordingly. It's not the same rule of your other posts of just crank it out. It's been an hour. Like just get a post out. Like take your time on these. So here's the real money phrase, because I have done this strategy with so many different posts before, and none of them have gone anywhere near close to the results as this one, with the last slide being this psychology. Someone on YouTube said this to me the other day, and I realized it made me subscribe really quickly, so I wanted to bring it over to Instagram. But basically they said, hey, please subscribe to the channel. If you don't like the content, you can always change your mind later. And it made me like, I'll just subscribe. Like, no worries. I'll just unsubscribe if I don't like it. And people don't hear that pitch very often. They might start hearing it a lot more. Like if this catches on, like it will not work anymore. So use this quickly. But I basically just say, you should try following me for a week. You can always change your mind later. And that converted 838 followers from this post that got 786 likes. So it's just kind of crazy. There's probably a lot of people that got to this last slide and then they saw that, and then before they could like it, which usually a like happens on the last slide or at the last second of a video is when people judge if they want to give it their like or not. They were already on to following me. So I provided them information that it's just like, the other part about this information specifically is this is news, okay? This is fact-based news. And if I promote posts that are like quotes from myself, they might get a lot of likes, but they don't convert into a lot of followers. And the reason why is because it's like, they don't know me. So I'm like, yeah, well, I have my own quotes. And they're like, yeah, but I don't know you. It's just, it doesn't convert cold traffic, as well as like I provide facts to you, right? So this is just me reporting statistics. So a lot of it, like everything had to work together in order to get the result that this one did. But I will say that the main reason that this one worked so well is this last slide. So if you like that verbiage, feel free to use it. Make sure to shoot me a DM if it works. Now, some other common questions that I'll get with promoting posts is when should you promote the post? And what you want to do is post it organically for 24 hours before turning on the paid post promotion, because as soon as you turn on the paid promotion, it doesn't really keep going organically nearly as well. It just starts riding off of the ad spend. So let it go completely out organically and get its full reach from that. 24 hours later, assuming it did well, then you can promote it You can always test it organically too to make sure it's something that you want to promote. But I mean, obviously you're not going to convert nearly as many followers when you're posting it organically because most of them already follow you. So just take that into consideration. The other thing that people ask is, should I do the automatic targeting? Should I create my own ad set? Should I do it in Facebook Ads Manager? So basically what I'll say is in Facebook Ads Manager, I did promote this post with like $60 doing a brand awareness campaign. But the problem with that is that the likes don't get added to the actual post. When you do any type of these campaigns, apart from an engagement campaign, the likes are separate, okay? So like if I promote the post and my post has 300 likes, then it's essentially like gathering likes on like a brand new post, right? As soon as this promotion would turn on, if it's anything but engagement, those likes are gonna be separate. It's gonna be like a separate post with separate comments and everything. I prefer it to be all in the same spot. So if carousels allowed me to do an engagement campaign, I would probably build it in here. I'd probably do it in Facebook Ads Manager. The problem is when you click engagement campaign in here, it doesn't let you select your post as a carousel post, and that is what I found to convert for followers the best. So I actually usually do use the targeting on the phone. Now, I tested this as well because from this post, I did like $100 to one ad set, then $100 to another one, and then I gave $100 to the ad set that performed better. One of them I did was the automatic Instagram targeting, and the other one I did was I made like an interest-based group on the phone, but on the phone you can't make nearly as detailed of an interest-based group as you can on the computer. So, it's basically me just saying like social media marketing, this age range, in the United States or Canada and Australia, because those are my main podcast listener spots. And, that's about as far as I could go with it. And the automatic targeting did do a lot better. Now, like I said, like if I had the access to the computer to do the engagement campaign, there's so many more options in Facebook Ads Manager that I do think I could make a better audience than the Instagram automatic targeting audience that is just, on the phone. However, when it comes down to the amount of options they give you to select manually on there, the automatic audience usually does win. Now, if I was promoting one of my posts here, like I have a post about podcasting, this one right here, how to become a full-time podcaster. If I was going to promote that one, the thing is like I don't have very many podcast listeners who follow me. And it's just like not my normal content. So for this one, I actually probably would use like interest-based targeting and I'd select like podcast listeners. However, when it was, the social media one, and I'm like, yeah, most of my followers are social media anyways, the automatic targeting usually does a little bit better. So just know that if your post is for your general market and it matches up with the people who follow you, just do the automatic targeting and that will probably be the best, and it's so easy to set up too. So that's everything you need to know to just start promoting posts. If you guys want more content on this, then I can dive into it again later. Just let me know in the comments on the YouTube video. But this is like the simple way to just do it right. It's about having an awesome hook, a great body subject, and then that last slide is super important. So feel free to just steal that from me, but you got to let me know how it works out for you. So thanks so much for listening, and I will see you guys soon.